I'm just the plumber, or so I thought. You probably think being a plumber is all about fixing leaky faucets, unclogging toilets, and getting sprayed in the face with mystery water. And yeah, you'd be right, about 90% of the time. But every now and then, you walk into a house and realize you've stepped into someone else's nightmare. And you're not getting out clean. My name's Rick. Been working plumbing jobs across Michigan for almost 18 years now. I'm not easily rattled. I've seen some gross stuff. Think sewage in basements, rats swimming in toilets, even a python in a crawl space once. But the job I got last October, that one still haunts me. It started with a standard service call. A woman named Catherine Jameson left a message at the office. Leaking pipe under the kitchen sink, she said. Sounded routine. I was in the area anyway, so I called her back and told her I'd swing by that afternoon. She lived in a quiet, older neighborhood in Lansing. Real nice homes. You know the type, red brick, big lawns, wide porches. When I pulled up, I noticed the house looked well maintained but kind of cold. No flowers, no decorations, not even a welcome mat. Just a big oak door with a brass knocker. Catherine answered after one knock. She was probably mid-50s, tall, neat, wore those librarian-style glasses. Not a smile in sight. Just nodded and pointed to the kitchen. The house was silent. No TV, no music, not even the hum of a fridge. Just the ticking of a grandfather clock in the hallway. Anyway, I knelt down under the sink and started assessing the leak. Old copper pipe, slow drip, looked like it had been going for a week or two. Nothing major, but definitely needed fixing. As I was working, I heard something. A scrape, like furniture being dragged upstairs. Then a thump. I paused, looked up. Catherine wasn't in the kitchen anymore. Everything all right? I called out. No answer. I figured maybe she stepped outside for a call. I went back to the repair. That's when I noticed something weird. There was a second pipe running behind the cabinetry, not a water line. Thinner, older. Looked more like a gas line, but it had tape around it. Electrical tape. I peeled a little back and saw it was capped improperly. Just a rag stuffed in there. That's a big hazard. I had to say something. So I stood up, wiped my hands, and headed down the hallway. I said, Catherine. I followed the faint creaking sound upstairs. The door at the top was slightly ajar. Now, look, I'm not the type to snoop in someone's house. But when there's a gas hazard and the client disappears mid-job, you don't just shrug and leave. I knocked on the door. I need to show you something. The door creaked open with just a touch. Inside was a small bedroom. Clean, but outdated, floral wallpaper, heavy drapes, and old TV. On the bed sat an elderly man, staring at me. Blank face, sunken eyes. He looked at me like I was the mailman. Oh, sorry, I muttered. Didn't mean to intrude. Just then Catherine appeared behind me. Her face was stone cold. You're not supposed to be up here, she said. Not angry, just stern. I was just looking for you, I said, trying to stay professional. There's something unsafe under the sink. Looks like an old gas line. She cut me off. Don't worry about that. Just fix the leak and go. There was something in her voice that chilled me. Not fear. Not even threat. Just a finality. I nodded and backed out. Went back to the kitchen and finished the repair in record time. Charged her half price just to get out of there faster. She handed me cash and exact bills. No tip. No smile. As I was walking back to my van, I noticed something else. A piece of mail sticking out of the box. It was addressed to Matthew Jameson, not Catherine. And the postmark, 2011. That made no sense. Mail that old. Pristine. I called my buddy Jared that night. He's a firefighter who sometimes does wellness checks. I told him the story, and to his credit, he didn't laugh it off. The next week, I get a call from him. Rick, he says. That house. It was on the radar. Neighbors said they hadn't seen the old man in years. Cops finally got a warrant. Turns out Matthew Jameson had been declared missing in 2012. But he wasn't missing. He'd been in that upstairs room for 13 years, barely alive, malnourished, disoriented. Catherine, his wife, had kept him hidden all that time. They think she was cashing his pension and disability checks. I gave a statement to the police. News crews showed up. I declined interviews. I'm not a hero. I just fixed a pipe, but that job changed me. Now, every time I knock on a stranger's door, I wonder what's really on the other side, because sometimes you're not just a plumber. You're the one who finds what nobody else wants to see.